You finally made the plunge and bought a new Mac. Congratulations on the big purchase, but just a warning before you proceed. Once you go Mac, you don't go back. And I hope the saying turns out to be true for you, as it has been for me. In this video, I will show you how to set up your new Mac, and I will also be showing you some quick tips on how to use macOS. So let's get started with this video by unboxing my new 2020 MacBook Pro M1. Upon opening the box, you will find the MacBook in a protective wrapping. Next, you'll find a tiny little booklet containing the classic Apple stickers and documentation. And under the booklet will be the charging brick for your Mac, which will also be wrapped in a protective plastic. Unfortunately, Apple no longer includes a power extension cable, so you'll have to buy that separately if you're looking to charge in outlets further than 6 feet. Underneath the MacBook will be a USB-C to USB-C charging cable. Now the first thing you want to do with the MacBook is to inspect it physically and see if you notice any signs of use on it or the protective plastic it came with. Inspect the back of the MacBook near the screws to see if there are any scratches, and inspect the front to make sure it looks brand new. If you notice any signs of use, return it and get a new one. Now I actually had to return the MacBook that I am unboxing on camera in front of you guys because it had a major mark on the protective plastic it came with. Now obviously I didn't return it only because of that, but the MacBook also had 17 charge cycles on it when a new MacBook should only have 1 or 2. I'll show you how to check the charge cycles on your Mac later in this video, so you can also make sure you don't have one with a lot of charge cycles on it. Now as you can see, the new MacBook I received after returning this one does not have any scratches or specks at all. So once you have made sure the Mac is indeed new, open the lid and the MacBook will start up. You will notice a protective covering over the screen of the Mac. Simply peel off this covering. Now I'm going to switch views to the actual screen of the Mac, and I will walk you through the entire setup process. So on the first screen, simply select your language, and then click on the arrow button at the bottom right corner. Next, select your country. I'm from Canada, so I will choose that, and then click on the arrow button to continue. Next, you can optionally choose to turn on accessibility features such as vision, motor, hearing, or cognitive features. If you require any of those, the features will make the Mac easier to use for you. I'm going to click on Not Now to proceed. Next, you will be asked to select your Wi-Fi network. Choose your Wi-Fi network from the list and then click on it. Now enter in the password for the Wi-Fi network and click on Continue. Your MacBook may get stuck on the Wi-Fi screen if you're sitting far away from your network. If this happens, just close the lid and reopen it, and it should proceed to the next screen. So the next screen talks about data and privacy and what this icon means. Basically, this icon will appear whenever a feature asks to use your personal information. So on this screen, just click Continue to proceed. Now you will see the Migration Assistant screen. The Migration Assistant is really useful if you're looking to transfer over data from another Mac or Windows computer. This makes it really easy to transfer your data from your old computer to your new computer. So if you are looking to transfer your data, I highly recommend using this feature. I'm going to be setting up my MacBook as a new computer, so I'll be clicking on Not Now. Now the next screen will ask you to sign in with your Apple ID. If you do not have one, I recommend you create one now, because an Apple ID is required to download apps from the Mac App Store and also to turn on useful features like Find My Mac. You can also create an Apple ID later or after you have set up the computer, in case you don't want to right now. I already have an Apple ID, so I'll just be signing in with that. So after entering in your Apple ID and password, it'll ask you to enter in a verification code in case you have two-factor authentication set up. So enter in the verification code to continue. Next, you'll see a pop-up with Terms and Conditions. Once you have read the terms and conditions, click on the box and then click on Agree. Next, you will be asked to create a user account. So this user account that you're creating will have administrative privileges. Some people like creating an admin account and then using a non-admin account for privacy and security concerns. So if that is the case, make sure you do not enter any username you want for your everyday account. In the first field, enter in your full name, which doesn't really have to be your name. It can just be whatever you want to name the account. Now you can change your profile picture by clicking on it and then clicking on Defaults from the pop-up. Next, you can choose a picture from the available ones and click on Save to set that as your account's profile pic. If you want, you can also click on the camera option and then upload something to use as a profile pic. Next, enter in a password for the user account and then enter it in once again to confirm. You can now optionally put in a hint for your password in case you ever forget it. Click on Continue to proceed to the next step. You'll see an iCloud screen where it says Setting up your account. The computer may be stuck on the screen for a few minutes. Once iCloud has finished setting up your account, you will be asked if you want to use iCloud Keychain. iCloud Keychain saves your passwords and credit card information, so it is easier to enter it in across your iCloud devices. You can choose to use it, or you can say Set up later if you don't want to use it right now. Next, you will be asked if you want to set up Find My Mac. I highly recommend setting up this feature, especially if you will be taking your laptop outside the house. Find My Mac will help you find your device in case you ever lose it, and in the worst case scenario, it will allow you to wipe your device in case it has sensitive data on it and you end up losing it. So click on Continue to set it up. Next, you will be asked if you want to use Express Setup to finish the setup process or if you want to customize settings. I highly recommend you choose the Customize Settings option because the next few screens contain important settings regarding your data, such as choosing if you want to send usage data to Apple. So on the first screen, you can turn on Location Services, which is required for Find My Mac and other features. So I'm going to turn that on and click on Continue. Next, you can choose to send analytics such as crash reports and usage data to Apple to improve performance. This is completely optional and I prefer to turn it off, so I'm going to uncheck it and click on Continue. The next thing you can set up is Screen Time. Screen Time is a very cool feature that will show you how much time you spend on your Mac in a detailed report, including how much time you spend on each individual app. Screen Time also allows you to do things such as set content and privacy restrictions and set limits on apps. So just click on Continue to set it up, or click Set Up Later if you don't want it right now. The next thing to set up is Siri, which is Apple's famous virtual assistant. To set it up, simply check Enable Ask Siri and click on Continue. Next, you will need to read a few commands out loud so Siri can learn to recognize your voice. And once it has been set up, click on Continue. Next, you can optionally send your audio recordings to Apple to improve Siri dictation. I'm going to choose not to do that since I do not want my audio recordings shared with Apple. So I'm going to select on Not Now and click on Continue. Next, you can set up FileVault Disk Encryption, which basically encrypts the data on your disk and safeguards the contents. So if you have private and confidential information on your computer, then I recommend you set up this feature. I'm going to skip for now by unchecking these boxes and then clicking on Continue. Now you can set up one of the most exciting features on MacBooks, which is Touch ID. To set up the feature, click on Continue. However, if you want to skip, click on Set Up Later. Now to set up Touch ID, simply place your finger on the power button and lift it and place it back on the power button multiple times until the Continue button is no longer grayed out. Make sure you also capture the edges of your fingerprint, which significantly improves the chances of Touch ID working all the time. Click on Continue once you have finished. Next, you can choose to use Apple Pay with the Touch ID you have just set up, so you can complete purchases on your computer by simply placing your finger on the power button. I'm going to choose to set this up later, so I'll be clicking on Set Up Later. On the next screen, you can choose whether you want dark mode or light mode, or a third option which is auto mode. Auto mode will basically switch to dark mode in the nighttime and light mode during the day. You can change these settings later on too, so don't stress too much about what option you choose. The next option is True Tone Display. True Tone Display automatically adjusts the lighting on your Mac based on the lighting environment around you. So if you click on the button See without True Tone Display, you can get an idea of what the Mac would look like with the option turned off. I'm going to leave this option on and click on Continue. And that's it, the setup process will be completed on your Mac and you will be taken to the desktop. Now at the start of this video, I said I would show you how to check how many battery cycles your new Mac has. So here is how. Click on the Apple logo from the top left corner and then click on About this Mac. From the pop-up window, click on System Report. Now on this new window, click on Power from the left sidebar menu, and you will see a screen that shows you information about your Mac's battery. You will also see the cycle count, which I have highlighted in red. As you can see, the MacBook I returned had 17 battery cycles, which is way too high for a new computer. The new MacBook I got after returning it had only one charge cycle out of the box, and after almost 3 weeks of use, it still only has 8 charge cycles. So now I'll be showing you some quick tips on how to use macOS. Now the first thing most people will want to do is download an app on their computer. So I'll be showing that. For example, let's say you want to download Google Chrome. So I'm going to open up Safari and search for Google Chrome. I'm going to visit the website and hit download. Now from the pop-up, since I have an M1 MacBook, I will click on Mac with Apple chip option. If you have an Intel MacBook, click on the Mac with Intel chip option. Now you can access the download from 2 different places. If you click on the download icon from the top, you can see the download in progress and click on it to open it. Or you can open Finder, which is located at the bottom left on the dock, and then open the downloads folder. So to install the app, open the downloaded file, and all you have to do to install apps on Mac computers is to drag the app into the Applications folder, and the app will be installed onto your computer. And to find the app you just installed, click on the Launchpad icon, which will be the second icon in the dock. As you can see, the recently installed app is right there in Launchpad. So if you want to move the app to the dock, all you have to do is drag it onto the dock, and it will be placed there permanently. Now by default, the dock will have a lot of icons that you will not use. So to remove an icon, all you have to do is right-click on it, and then from the menu, hover your mouse over Options, and then click on Remove from Dock to remove that app's icon from the dock. Another useful feature is splitting your screen to multitask with different apps at the same time. To do this, simply open the application you want to use, and then hover your mouse over this little green icon, and then select Tile Window to left of screen. Now on the right side of your screen, select the other application you want to use in the split screen feature. As you can see, you can view both apps at the same time and multitask easily. And that's it for this video. Make sure to check out my next video on the right side of your screen, which talks about the first 9 things to do on your Mac. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for more videos like this. Also, like and share this video.